Good morning, everybody. Metzia daf samach gimel Amud beis. Samach gimel Amud beis. We are here towards the bottom of the page. we are here in Omar of Nachman Klala de Ribbis. A line starts with the word daite. Here we are, and Omar Rav Nachman Baruch Hashem. And I want to welcome everybody here and everybody at Torah anytime and YouTube that is watching us. And I want to say that yesterday I had tremendous simcha because it was very, very nice to see the give and take between people here. And now, because of what you people were saying, I got the sugya much clearer, as we're going to say today. Omar Rav Nachman. Let's just get going. Omar Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman tells us a rule about Ribbis. Klala de Ribbisa, the general big rule regarding Ribbis. Kol agar natale also. Very, very key line in Ribbis. Any time in which a person is getting money for waiting for his money to come back, that is forbidden, which means, and this is a very, very, very important key point in the sugya, and this is something that we can understand better, as I said before, because of what Tzvi and Baruch said yesterday. The rule is as follows, the rule is like this. When a person lends money, says the Torah, don't take any extra money back. That's the Oraisa. How do we define it, says Rav Nachman? You're waiting for your money to come back. My money, my money is over the ocean. My money is away. Money, where are you? So now we say, because you waited for the money, we say what? Now he says, I want my money back, plus give me time, give me money for the time I waited for my money. Give me more money. The same thing applies, and this is extremely important to know now. This is a very easy way to understand, says Rav Nachman, why shopping, buying, purchasing when you buy sometimes early and you give money, prepay, and you didn't get the schoyer yet, it's almost identical. Why? What did you say, Tzvi, yesterday? When I give money to the shopkeeper and he's now benefiting from the fact he has money. And what did he give in return? You know how much he gave in return? Zero, null, zero, efes. Why? He will give me, doesn't have it by him. Even his neighbors don't have it. Nobody has it. I believe him to be a trustworthy guy. Maybe I made it sound on the paper that, Mishapara, that he will give me. That's like a loan. Right now, the money is in his hands in return of nothing. Eventually, he'll come back with the money, with a schoira, and provide me the schoira. That's very nice. During that time, which is a day or two, or a month or two, if the money was in his hands, it's similar, tantamount to halva, although midurabonon. Now, if everything is the same price, same everything, fine. Let's say the guy tells me outright, and even without, but that's answering another question of yours. I told you yesterday that, let's say the price is cheaper now, and later it's more expensive. And he said, who knows? Why? Maybe it's different. You're right. Let's say I'm telling you, this will answer your question. Right now, the price by me, with other people, without other people, in granary, in the shmanery, right now, I be'etzem, if I had the wheat now, give it to you now, I know what I charge. No hypothetical things. I charge now 1,000 shekels for, 100 kilos of whatever. 1,000 shekels. I know that's what I do. Here, I have a price list. And because you're giving me money, this is very important. Because I'm getting money from you, and you're so nice to me, you're giving me money without asking for the wheat now. You know it'll come with the wheat later. A week later, the wheat will come. Then instead of 1,000 shekels, I'm giving you 800. Maybe because I'm giving it cheaper. I'm merviach you 200 shekels for the fact that I have money in my hands for nothing. You'll only get the money's worth later. That's scaringly, terribly similar to Ribbis. And that's what Rabbanon answered. That's a beautiful whole new world here about this idea. And that's Rav Nachman telling us why these cases of purchase, of prepaying and getting it for cheaper, that answered many, many questions, right? Very good. That's what it's also. With that in mind, we can zoom through, excuse the pun, if Zoom is going to work today. Let's see. Omar Rav Nachman, says Rav Nachman, again, Klala de Ribbis, the general rule of Ribbis, which encompasses both Kinyan and, needless to say, alva, loan, call agar natale also. Whenever a person is asking for extra money for the fact that he had to wait for his money or for his wheat, while you're enjoying the money for nothing, then it's also, it's a common denominator between halva and an early mechira for cheap. The Omar of Nachman, here's one more example with a chiddush. Hayman de yoiv zuzi lekiroo. A person gave money, daf, by the way, we are in Samech Gimel Amud Beis, about 10 or so lines from the bottom of the page. Line starts with the word man. Man de yoiv zuzi lekiroo. A person gave zuz to a kiro, is a person who sells the kira, is the wax. It could either mean something else, a gherkin, wax. Here it means wax, pieces of wax. He's selling, pieces of wax for how much? For the ka'azli dalid dalid. Normally, the normal price for one zuz are 4 pieces of wax. Okay? So I just want to make sure. Yeah. So each piece, one zuz grants you, gives you how much? 4 pieces. Yeah, the bag, 4 pieces of wax. You can do whatever you want with it for one zuz. That's a normal price. That's a going rate. Normally, comes the guy, the soicher, the wax seller, tells you, Yahiv nalach chamisha chamisha. Hey, instead of 4 per zuz, I'm going to give you 5 per zuz. Wow, that's nice. What a nice guy. He's giving me a reduction. What do the rabbis want here? What's the problem? Depends. Itnehu gabe shari. If he has the wax by him right now, even if he'll provide them later, remember? In other words, even if I'm giving him money now and he'll provide it later to me, but he has them in his office, he has them in his storage room, then it's okay. Why? Because the wax was ki'ilu sold, right? And therefore, it's a done deal. Whatever happens later, it already grew in my house. But leitnu gabe also, if the seller doesn't have any available wax by him whatsoever, then it's also. Why? Because there's no yesh loy, ein loy. He doesn't have it by him. He's getting money for nothing, for a promise to later give me the wax, and that's why he's giving me the reduction clearly, because he's getting the money like a loan, prepayment, without giving anything. I'll get it later. That's like a loan, and I'm now marviach from that. Who am I? The buyer, who's like the malve. That is also frek the Gemara Shita. We've seen it already before. Obviously, that's the same case which we'll see later in the Mishnah. We saw before. That's the case we were talking about for the past few days. What's the new chiddush over here? Yeah, prepaying. Nobody has anything around, but if he has something, then it yesh lo. It's kilu by me. How many times can we say it? And it says Gemara lo tzricha. There is a big chiddush in this particular case. There is a chiddush. What's the chiddush? The islay ashray b'mata. This wax dealer, he himself gave money to other people, other wax dealers, and they owe him wax, which means this guy, when we say he doesn't have wax, it's not that he doesn't have it at all. He has it, but it's something owed to him by others. Wax dealers owe him wax, and that's what he sort of has. That's already a question. Now the tema, one would have thought, wait, came in the Islay Ashray, but what's Kurtis Ashray? Credit. Because the guy has credit b'mata. What's mata? Town. He has credit around town. There are other merchants who owe him the wax. Ke'ad, it's considered like as if he already has it in his hands. It's like ke'ad sheyovo ibni or ad she'emtza mafteach dami. Let me explain to you these terms which we saw before in Azov. We'll see later in the Mishnah. Let's say a person tells you, I want a bag of milk. You're studying Ezer Neshech. Next time, the neighbors don't know why you got so miserly. They knock on your door, the lady, and she says, do you have a bag of milk? You say, so. What? In other words, it's not so pashut, to lend a bag of milk and get another bag of milk in return. That's a shekel and a half, whatever. 3 shekel and a half, right? When is it okay? By the way, small things is okay, the Ramos said, because people are not makpid, okay? So the bag of milk is fine. But what happens if your neighbor wants to get a huge bag of rice worth 100 shekels? And she'll give you back a huge bag of rice, 105 maybe. That's already a shaila. When is it okay to give so beso? If, let's say, I borrow a bag of rice, but I have another bag of rice in my house, then it's not a problem. Because then we say, since he has another bag of rice, it's ki'ilu. There's a reason why we say it's ki'ilu yeshloi. I already have it. I could really return it to you now. I want to have extra. But I could return you the first one, which is the current price. So it's not a so get it? In other words, I borrowed from you 100 shekel rice, and maybe I'll give you back your 105. but because I have in my possession another bag of rice, when I take from you the 100 shekel rice, I have another bag of rice of 100 shekels, which potentially I could give you back right now. Then we say what happens later is nicht gefährlich. Why? Because Chachamim, says Rashi there in the Mishnah, I saw it this morning, not so machmir in the Gzeros. Yeah. Says the Gemara over here. Wait a second. When the guy who sells me the wax, yeah, doesn't have wax, but other people owe him wax, the trustworthy people, they owe him wax, maybe it's considered as if he already has it. We compare it to a case of ad shiov abni ad shemtza mafteach. Let's say the case of the bag of rice. Why do you need a bag of rice? You have one at home. It's locked in the machsan. And my son went to Yerushalayim with his friends, the teenagers. And what? And mafteach, the key is not there, right? It's just a matter of time, technicality, that meanwhile I'm stuck without rice and I'm a caterer and I need rice right now. Because it's a bit blocked for me, right? There's no access. It's still considered that it's okay that I have the rice and I can borrow another one. Says the Gemara, maybe the same thing over here. If the person who's selling wax doesn't have it, but it's owed to him by other people, maybe it's considered as if he has it already and it's just a matter of technicality until he gets it. It's kilo locked in the office, locked in the storage room, but it's just about to be given, and it's considered as yeshloi, and therefore it's okay to give the lower price because kilo already here. Maybe we extend the kilo even there. Says the Gemara, Kamash Malan, Kev the Mechseri Govaina. It's still but it's still missing the Govaina, the collecting. It's not considered his at all. As we all know, as the British people said over here, between cup and lip, there's many a slip, which means it's not over till it's over. Just because somebody owes you the wax, doesn't mean you're going to get it very soon. People can owe money and not give it back for years, unfortunately. Which means just because somebody owes him the wax, it's not considered to be really in his little pocket, and it's just a matter of time until they provide it. You never know what kind of nissim and niflos can happen until he actually sees the wax, which they owe him. And therefore it's considered as ein loi. Ein loi is bad news. If you, Mr. Waxman, the wax dealer, you got money? Yes. Do you have the wax? No. Oh, Shmobo, don't tell me people owe you. You don't have it actually in your possession whatsoever. Therefore, you got the money? Yes. Where's the wax? Nowhere to be seen. That's almost considered to be what? Alva. If you're now giving him a reduction because you got money and he'll get the wax much later, that's similar to alva. You're giving him what? Not fair price, cheap price, reduced price because of waiting for the money. That is very, very similar to Ribbis, Drabonon. Nevertheless, because it's not a loan, it's a purchase. And the Rabbanon said that's called a loan with the Rabbanon. I think things are much clearer now. To me, I must say, to me it's clear, and I hope that the same goes for you. The Omar of Nachman, question and comments can be given to akiva1971@gmail.com. The Omar of Nachman, another statement of Rav Nachman, which seemingly has nothing to do with Ribbis, although there is an indirect connection. The Omar of Nachman. Rav Nachman, by the way, was a Dayan. Rav Nachman was a big mumcha when it came to Choshen Mishpat. The Gemara says Rav Nachman the Dayan, he knows a lot. Yeah, he was friends with other Dayanim, Shmuel. The Omar of Nachman. Hayman the Oizif, the person borrowed. Pshiti, he borrowed money. Pshiti is a prutos, he borrowed money mechavre from his friend. The ashkach beitufyona, he was meant to borrow. The agreement, the sale was not the sale, was a loan of 100. All of a sudden, he finds more. He finds more money in the envelope than expected. And where's the malve? Acapulco went away. So now he doesn't know what to do. He's an honest person, right? It's not Ribbis. It's the lover getting more. Yeah, don't get confused. Yeah, the borrower got more by mistake. Then says the Gemara, what can you do? What should you do? Should you assume it's a mistake? Not always. If it's a number, a sum that it makes sense that the person, the lender, made a mistake, an honest mistake, then his mechuyev is obligated to give it back to the lender. Yeah, let's say we'll see what's called an amount that you can make a mistake. He made a mistake. Run after the man and say, hey, sir, get it back. And that's not called Ribbis, by the way, because I can assume it's an honest mistake of his. And giving him that money is not Ribbis, by the way. It's also Chiddush. It's not even Chashash Ribbis. It's just his money and then giving him back the extra that by mistake he dropped into the envelope. So far, so good. Dilav, let's say it's an amount that does make sense as a mistake. Doesn't make sense that such an amount would be a mistake already. That's suspicious. It looks like, feels like it was done here on purpose. What shall I do? Again, it's not so easy just to be a tzaddik. That's my own chiddush. I didn't see it anywhere. It's my chiddush here. I think it's here shtupta in the sugya, inserted in the sugya. Maybe just be a tzaddik and say, just give him extra. Can't do that, right? Because if really it's not something that is owed, I'm giving him extra. Giving him extra is called ribbis, even with the rabbanon. That's my take here. Although I haven't, maybe somebody says it. Let's continue. Ilav, it's not a mistake. Matana be'almud. It's probably a gift that he wants to give him. The guy knows that you, Mr. Borrower, you don't borrow money for fun. You borrow money because you're strapped for cash. And the Malvi knows it. So the Malvi stooped in the envelope, some extras, a matana. Go ahead and enjoy it. No problem. When do you have a case? How do you define something that's reasonable to think that he made a mistake and the extra money is dropped in on purpose and you should keep it and enjoy it? Amar Ravacha Breda of Yosef, surprise, says Ravacha Brei, the son of Yosef, he says when the mistake was not in numbers of tens and fives. Explains Rashi and explains the Meforshim. The one who really helped me was Rashash. Says Rashi as follows: back then, people would, and even sometimes today, when people count money, when you count, let's say, thousands and thousands of pounds, of dollars, of shekels, yeah, then how do you count them? Usually in bundles, right? In wads, like 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, that's 1,000. 10, 2,000. 10, 3,000, etc. You make piles. So now, back then, they would count the coins by coins of tens and fives. So if the norm is by 10, so dafka, a bigger mistake, we spoke about 30, all of a sudden I find 40. That actually makes sense. It's a mistake because from 1 unit of 10, of 30, let's say, 1, 2, 3, instead of 3 units, he put 4 units. Says the Rashash really helped me here. I have to thank the Rashash very much. It makes sense because when you count money, it's true. 1, 2, you're getting confused because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Hey, I'm holding number 5. Is it number 5 of the first bunch or the second bunch or the third? That does happen. That's why you have to put them on the table in separate separate piles when you count a lot of money, right? That can be a very reasonable mistake, or fives. So Shenken, if you found 50 instead of 40, makes sense. That's an extra unit of 10, or even 20 or 30 made a mistake. So that makes sense. A mistake, go ahead and enjoy it. But after a smaller mistake does make sense because let's say he said what let's say it's 57. The amount was supposed to be let's say 50, and it's 57. Yeah, that's not a mistake. Because if he counts by units of 10, 7 is not a unit of 10, right? He knows he's in a round number. He wouldn't mistake 5 to 7. 5 is 5 and 7 to 10. He knows how to count till 10. If the mistake is within 10, within the decimal unit, then we say that's actually not a mistake. So the smaller amount is bedafka. So the 7 is dafka. As she says, 10s, 5s. I'm going for the 10s now. Mimela, that's now Tosfos and other Rishonim in the Ramah say that really today we don't count by 10s and 5s. We count by what? We count by 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I don't know. I actually do count by 10, yeah. But yeah, you count by 1, 2, 3, 4. And therefore says Tosfos, B'chol inyan b'chdei shadas toya. It's always considered b'chdei shadas toya. Many times you can say that it was just an honest mistake. I'm not sure if Tosfos means to say there's always an honest mistake or just be reasonable. I mean, we would say 100 is an honest mistake. It doesn't make sense if it's such a huge mistake, right? But whatever seems reasonable, that's considered an honest mistake. If it's too much, a big amount, then it's not so reasonable to say it was just a mistake. But in any event, if it's a mistake, give it back. If it's beyond mistake, either small amount or bigger, then give it back. What did you say? Maybe give him a gift. If it's not a mistake, what is it? Keep it. It's a gift. If he knows that the guy, the malve, is a toughie, tokif, the lo yahiv matana, he never give gifts. The guy's a miser. He lends. He would never give me extra gifts, not 1 shekel for sure. So don't tell me, nobody should tell me that this guy's actually gave me extra 1 shekel as a gift. Then how do you explain it? It's not a mistake, right? And it's not a matano. Do I keep the money? Omar le, yes, we twist around and say, Dilma, maybe migzal gazle, maybe the malva one time stole from you, white collar, blue collar, there was some kind of theft that he stole from you. The evil alei becheshbon. It feels very bad to give you back and say, I stole from you. So what does he do? He actually, ivla is mavliya, he makes it kilo swallowed, he merges it together with the cheshbon. Next time you borrow money from him, he knows he stole from you, I don't know, 30 shekels. Instead of 50, he's giving you an extra 30 as a return of the theft, which you never knew about. The Tanya, how do you know that's considered to be a good way to return the loan? Remember the machloekes at the end of Bava Kama? The Tanya, a person stole from his friend and he was too much of a chicken to admit that he stole and he just put it back into his cheshbon. Yeah, in other words, he was mavliya, made it swallow with the rest of the money, dropped it in his wallet without the victim knowing. Yotza, it's considered as Veshiv Shagozal, even though the guy didn't know. He did know before, and now he doesn't know that he got it back. Even though he does know that it's back, it's still okay. When isn't it okay? Remember, there's a case la locha when you stole something. Quiz from Bava Kama. Yeah, win your trip to Switzerland. I'm joking. Yeah, Yotza, what would be the case where I stole something and I gave it back without the knowledge of the bailim and it's not good? By what? No, 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 no. That's a different story. No, no. I know what you say. That's a different story. Ah, could be, could be, could be, could be. When it comes to animals, if it's a sheep and you stole the sheep and the sheep now got used to another environment, it was off the derech. Now it's back on the derech in the herd, in the flock. It says already it has different habits. It became more rebellious. It knows the world out there. So therefore, now you should let the shepherd know this sheep has been used to other grazing in other fields, literally. But when it comes to money, there's no difference. And that's why we say if you find surprisingly more money and the guy's a miser, and it's not a mistake, it's not a matana, let's assume that what is it? That it was a gzela that is giving back. Again, I hold by what I say that the Gemara seems to be twisting and turning and saying that you should always keep the money. Why can't you just give the money? Because maybe it's Ribbis. Because if it's really something that it doesn't want back, you're giving, right? Maybe. Anyway. For him, it's a tshuva. For the Goslin, yes, right. Back the Gemara, continues the Gemara, inish de osim alma. Let's say it's a person who just came to town. He just landed in Ramat Bechemish from the outside world. Yeah, he used to live in Chucha Chucha, South Dakota. Came here. You don't know the guy. I don't know. Okay, it was a few weeks ago. Deloy Shaki Vatori Ba'adei. Is enough time here, but you never had any business dealings with him. You highly doubt he stole anything from you. You never had any business dealings with him. He didn't come to your house in the middle of the night, and he never had any inyanim of business that he would have stolen from you. What would you say then? What would be my excuse to keep the money, the extra money? So he told him Ravashi, Dilma, maybe Inish Achrina Gazle, maybe another person stole from him. The Omer Lane, he told him, Ki Yosef Ploini Pshiti Minach, in other words, maybe you, the borrower, who has the extra money, somebody else, your friend who sits next to you in shul and does business with you, he stole money from you. He feels bad to give it back to you. And he told Mr. New Guy from South Dakota, he told the new guy, next time, Yosef Ploini Pshiti Minach, I know you're a rich, friendly guy. And what? And the next time Mr. Victim will borrow from you, you should add it to his cheshbon. Get the story? Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven stole from Levi. They're old friends, but Reuven stole from Levi. Oy, oy, oy. Reuven tells Shimon, who's more of a foreigner, who's out of the story, Shimon, you're the gemach owner. When Levi comes to you next time and borrows money from you, here's the extra $100 I stole from him, and I want you to put it in his loan. Next time when he borrows 10,000, put another 1,000 in his pocket. That will be my indirect way behind the back to give it back to him. At Kedekach, we go round and round to say that the person keeps the money, and I highly think the reason is because of what? Because of to avoid extra return of ribbis. One question which can be derived from here, we can be medayik from here, what would be the other way? What would be the other way? It's machlokes hashonim. What would be if you lent money to someone, yeah? You lent money to me, you lent me 100 shekels, and you see in the envelope when I give it back to you 110. Ooh. Then what? Oh. that smells like Ribbis, right? Okay, that's much worse. Here's a machloikus. Some Rishonim say all this twisting and turning and justifying is true when the loiva got extra. For the loiva to get extra, it's not Ribbis. But for the malva to get extra, Ribbis, 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 red alert. And in that case, some Rishonim say always return it to the loiva, right? No excuses. Other Rishonim say no. Other Rishonim say no. Could be the same logical story happened with the loiva. Maybe the loiva stole. Maybe the loiva made a mistake. Whatever mistake you give that. Maybe the loiva also has these funny reasons. And Lamaisa Shulchan Aruch paskins like the second opinion. Shulchan Aruch says whether it's halva, malva, or loiva, or pikodon deposit, we always follow those rules. Okay, so it's not just an in of Ribbis. I'm just being honest. I'm telling you that's what Shulchan Aruch says. Omar of Ghana, we should all have Shefa Rav. Yeah, we should always lend and never have to borrow. Okay, so who do we lend to? The Goyim. By the way, somebody told me yesterday an interesting thing. I didn't see it. It's in Daf Ayin that even though you're allowed to lend the Goy Ribbis, and the Rambam holds it's a mitzvah to lend Goy Ribbis, but the Gemara says don't get too used to it. If you get too used to lending to Goy Ribbis, you may come to lend to Jews also. It's too much of easy money. Yeah, you sit home and your money just grows in the tree, and therefore we're going to get there later. It's not the issue now, but we just mentioned it, so I'm going on. Omar of Kana. Very nice. Yeah, we speak negatively of Goyim, we come to Jews. Omar of Kana. Rav Kana was a very, very, very close Talmud of Rav. Always. Rav Kana is always with Rav. Yeah, 24 hours a day. Omar of Kana. Have yativna b'shilei pirkei de Rav. I came towards the end of the Shiur of Rav. I came late to Shiur. Rav Kana came late to the Shiur of Rav. The Shamis, the Ka'omar, and I heard him saying in Shiur, I overheard as I came in, I heard the words Kari, Kari. Now, Kari here is not Kiri. Kari here means like the glass, which is in modern Hebrew, pumpkin or gherkin. Imagine yourself something like a gherkin or like a cucumber. Yeah, a good. It's proper good. Yeah, it's so very nice. Yeah. So then, Bekitzer, I heard him talking the Shiur about pumpkin. Yeah, and it was not Halloween. So Velo Yadana, I didn't know. Mike Omar, I didn't know what he was talking about. In other words, I came to the end. I heard a lot of talk about Kari Kari. I didn't know what's the real issue. What's the Indian? So then, both of the Kamrav, after Rav got up and left the room, after Rav finished his Shiur, Amri Lehu, I asked the Talmidim, I asked the fellow Talmidim, my Kari Kari de Komarav. What's this Kari Kari that Rav was talking about? What was this Shiur about? You know, Dlas, about let's call them just for the sake of making it simple for the picture. Let's say it's cucumbers. Yeah. What's this cucumbers is talking about? Omuli. So they told me, Achika Omarav. Rav said as follows, and you guys are all going to get it very, very easily now. The story is as follows. Hi man, let's say a person, the Yaiv Zuzi Legino Akari. A person gave a garden owner, that is not a gardener who deals with your garden in your house. He's a person who owns a vegetable garden and sells the vegetable from his garden. And I gave him, I'm a client, I gave him one zuz, yeah, in return of kari, of a bunch of kari. How many kari go for? I don't mean the Indian one, yeah? How much kari goes for one zuz? The ka'azli, normally, the kari go, asaro kari b'nei zerta. You can get 10 kari with the size of zeres. You know how much is the size of zeres? How much is that? Half a meter. No, half an amma. No, half an amma. Zeres in Hebrew is a pinky, and that's very nice. But zeres in halacha is half an amma. Yeah, half an amma is about an amma is 40 or 60 centimeters, and therefore a zeres is 20 or 30 centimeters. Yeah. Okay. So now let's say normally the normal going rate, going price by him, by others, now. Yeah. Now the fact is normally for one zuz, I can normally get a bunch of 10, a bag of 10, each one but the size of half an amma. Normally, now he told me, Mr. Kari owner, says to me, Yahiv nalach b'nei garmida. Whoa, I'll give you for this price, I'll give you for the same price, I'll give you those whose size is an amma, double. I'm giving you double for the same price. Why is he so nice? Friendly, but close. He needs the money now, and only later, I wish, Only later, really, he's going to give me in a month's time, in a week's time, then he'll give it to me. Oh. Now to you, Isnahu Shari. We all know the rule now. If he has in his garden right and under, over there under his hands in the state somewhere in his garden, he has what? The big ones. And theoretically, the big ones could be given to me any given second, and I gave the money, then it's not Ribbis because it's kilo grew in my house. Same thing. Late no, what? Late no who also. Late no also. Beautiful. Late no also. If he doesn't have the big ones, if in his field he only has the little ones, not the big ones, they're going to grow eventually, but they're not there yet. That is Enloy. He doesn't have it. Let's assume other gardeners don't have it either. I gave him money now. He's enjoying it. Thank you. When will he give it to me later? That's called Ribbit. Yeah, that's bad news. Frag the Gemara. Shita. Didn't we say that already 100 times? What's the Chiddush over here? Yeah, we know it already. We know it. Answers the Gemara, and here comes huge news. Beautiful. You tell me, I gave you a hint. I hinted you to the answer. I'll give you a hint already now, and I want you to come up with the answer. The guy has stuff growing in his garden. If I'm in a shop in Tel Aviv or Bet Shemesh, Yerushalayim, and I have vegetables or I have wheat or I don't have them, I either have them in the store or I don't, right? There's no other way, right? Okay? When stuff is growing in my garden, it's now small. Zehakoton, what do you say in the breeze? Zehakoton Godolia. That changes everything. They're in the garden, but they're still young. They have very bright future waiting ahead of them. They're going to finish Harvard and Yale. Those gherkins, yeah, is going to be big. Let's see. Now the tema, one would have thought as follows. Karabu, they grow naturally. What's mimela but themselves? They grow Bezos Hashem. They grow anyways. Then Shapir Dami, one would have said, and that's a very strong svara, one would say, no, excuse me, even though I paid you for big ones, one amma big, and right now you have stuff in your garden which is half an amma big as Eres, that's already a closed deal. Because I have my eyes on those little ones and they will grow. No? So when in 2 months' time, in 1 month's time, they'll come and they'll find the big ones, it's the same ones, right? So maybe that's okay. Kamash Malan, that it's not okay. Boom, it's not. It's going to be a machlokas. No, because you don't really have the schoiro that I paid for, which is big. You have the small ones, which hopefully will grow. Makes sense, but they're not here yet. What? First, we don't know for sure. Maybe it will be an earthquake. Continuation. And even if it will grow, Lamaisa, the very same schar is not here yet. There's a limit to how much we can play Keilu. We're already playing Keilu in my house. Keilu big, Keilu in my house, leave me alone. That's not considered as they're really there, not the schar I want, and therefore they're considered as not being there, and therefore it's Ribbis. What is that? That was a statement of Rav. Rav is in the Moira. Zog the Gemara, does Rav have any support from a Braisa, from a Mishnah? Keman, who does that opinion follow of Rav? Says the Gemara as follows. Kia Tana. It follows the opinion of the following Tana. The Tanya. It says in the Braisa. A similar story. Let's see. A person who's a soicher, who's a farmer, who sells stuff from his farm. Yeah? Stuff from his farm. He sells things from his farm. Like in America, I know they have that too. Yeah, I saw a package, in Deal Vizol. We sell stuff, produce in the farm, and also they export it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This person is about to milk his goats, to shear his sheep. Yeah, very nice wool coming up. And to harvest his honey from the beehive. It's called harvesting. Yeah. Okay, my wife. Okay, to harvest the honey. The Seder, he's on his way to do that, make a lot of money, hopefully. His friend met him in the way, and he told him, whatever my izim, says the Tosfos read, let's make a deal for the entire next month. For the next month, I'm going to have milking every day, however much milk my goats are going to make. Goat's milk is very healthy. It's all sold to you now. Yeah, give me a price now. Whatever will come up in the future, He did not yet start milking. That's important to know because otherwise it's yeshloi. No milk yet was milked. It's the first milk of today, of this month, whatever, Rosh Chodesh, Mar bin Besimcha. I'm going to start milking 9 o'clock today. And from now to the entire month, whatever the milk comes in, and that is mazel. Who says that? The Tosfos read. He bought mazel. You give me a fixed price, and whichever, however much milk is going to come out is yours. That can be what? No, no. He's willing. It's us. Exactly, exactly. Oh, nice. Oh, you're delicious. Says the Tosfos read, and I'm stopping myself in the middle because 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Love it. Because why is he giving him reduced price? He's giving him low price now, not because he's getting the cash. Give me cash now, cash now. It's not called halva. Why? The reason why I'm getting the cash now, I'm giving you a lower price, is not because what? It's not because of my sticky situation in halva, because I'm not giving you the produce, because you're buying luck. Why do you pay only 10 shekels or 50 shekels for the lottery ticket from Mifal Pais? Why not 3 million? Obviously, because the chances are very small. You're buying chances like a person buys ksuba. That's Amasachik Bikubia. He's willingly buying Dover Shalob Aloy, but Osid, very likely to come. There may be fluctuation up or down, and I'm willing to place my bet that I'm buying chances, not so far fetched chances. There will be milk. I don't know, there will be, 50 liters or 150. It depends on many factors. I'm buying the chances, and that's why it's allowed. Give me a second. Yeah. I'm selling you, I don't know how much wool would come up. I guess it regrows. I don't know. Wool, I think you can see it. However much wool is yours, bad or good, it fluctuates up or down. You buy the lock, pot lock. Masha kavarti roida. However much honey I'll be able to harvest. I don't know how much there is. What's going on in there inside? However much I can harvest from my beehive. Mutter. That's allowed, and thank you for helping me explain it. Says the Tosfos read, I'm buying it reduced price because it's luck, up, down, or anything. I don't know, not just the price, I don't know the amount. I have no clue will get 50 liters or 150. For that, of course, it's a lottery ticket. I'm paying you less, like a ksuba. We've seen that many times. Excuse me. You can buy ksuba from a woman. She's happily married, young, and both her husband and her go to the gym every day, selfie, and they're young and happy. Slim chances that she'll get a ksuba in the next 30 years for divorce or death. You still buy the ksuba for how much? Way less than the price of the ksuba. Why? It's chances. Buying chances, you buy less. Don't tell me lo balo olam, because it is lo balo olam, and I don't like the question. It's lo balo olam, but it's likely to come. He's about to milk the cow now, and it has full udders. Okay, so think. It's tova shelo balo olam, but osid latuye. They can do that. Lekula alma. Even not Rabbi Meir. Aval, here comes big news. Or not such big news, actually. Im omer lo mashe izer choves kach v'kach mochor lecho. I'm securing the amount, whichever. I promise you that 50 liters I'll have to give you. I'm giving you secured 50 liters, whether less or more. If they make less than 50, I'll have to get it from other farmers. It's my problem. Is guaranteeing 50 liters. Yes, or 50 kilos of wool, or 50 something of honey, kilos. So now he's guaranteeing a number. Nobody's buying chances here. No, and they're signing it by the lawyer. And I'm gonna get in the next month 50 liters that, and he's giving him for less than what 50 liters now would cost you, I don't know, 300 shekels, let's say, and I'm giving you now for 250. That's obviously bad news. Yes, that's not luck. However much wool my recheli will make, the sheep will make, the ewes, then it's sold. Or the kach v'kach, specific amount, 50 kilos of honey or willers. Oh, now Zog the Gemara, why is it osir? Well, we know why it's osir. We said it already 10 times. It's osir because why? He is promising, I'm going to give you an X amount. I'm getting money now. The Mr. Farmer gets money now, and so far gave him zero. He has cash now to buy toys for children for Purim. And then what? And he's going to give him stuff later, and he's giving him cheap price. That's Ribbis. There is a chiddush here. Why? The Afal Gab, even though the Mimele Karabu, the milk that keeps coming, or the honey that keeps coming, is similar to those cucumbers that grow in the garden. Because Lamaisa, those things I start milking now, and now there is milking happening already now. So maybe we would say, listen, the first spritz of milk is already something considered now. The others, the milk in the others now is sold to you, that's something yeshloi, and all the rest is considered to grow on top of that. Maybe that's considered like the gherkin that grows in the garden, and yet you see that it's usur. Kevan the leisnu b'heishaita usur, because lemaisa at the very time of kinyan, all the milk is not there yet. The milk will sort of grow on top of the existing milk, kivyachol, or the honey or the wool, and yet we don't say that that is a heter. We don't say because there's some produce now, all the rest for the upcoming month is already coming mimeli. We don't view it that way. But we say, no, right now the other has 2 liters of milk. That's it. The others is a new story. We say that, we're machmir. And therefore, so too, Rav was right. In the case of the cucumbers that are now small and eventually will grow, it's also osur. But there's a difference. Physically, there's a difference. And now we're going to get into the difference. Ikadami, some say Omarove, some say the Rove argues with Rav and says, no, Kevin the Mimela Karabu Shapir Dami. Yes, says Rove. Because in the case of the kari, it's not really cucumbers, whatever, the gherkin, the pumpkin, glass is pumpkin. In the case of the pumpkin, says Rove, it's allowed, no problem. They are cotton godolier. We don't know for sure, but it's considered enough to be secure enough that if I paid for the big ones, right now they're small. Normally, every season they grow nicely, right? Mimela, it's considered as if they're already in my little pocket. They're considered ready to be in my house. And the ribbis the kilo grew in my house, says Rashi. The cucumbers kilo grew in the house of the buyer. Mimela, it's not called ribbis. I frag the Gemara, v'atanya kach v'kach osu. Frag the Gemara, how can Rava argue on what? On the Brisa. How can Rava argue on the Brisa? What did the Brisa say? The Brisa said in the case of milk, we said that it's not okay. Yeah, just because right now there's some honey in the beehive or some milk by the cow, but there will be more milk coming and more this, we said it's not okay. What's the difference? Physical, scientific difference between the milk coming and the cucumber growing. And I'm taking a break now, YouTubers and Torrent. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are already there. Small stick.
Very nice. Omarova answer came from Baruch. Omarova, again, I'm reading Rov again. Kevin de Mimele Karabu Shapir Dami. The little cucumbers that are there, let's repeat the case. I want to buy big cucumbers 1 meter long. Yeah, look, they're in Europe, they're very big. Yeah, 1 meter long, I want to buy them. You have now half a meter long. Why is that okay? Why isn't it called ribbis? Says Rove, because they grow. You have small ones in your garden. Unlike Rav, which thought it's a new thing, the big ones will come later. Rove says it's the same thing, it's allowed. We saw in the case of the milk, the wool also regrows every season, right? And the honey that they come and they produce from the pollen every time. And there, the Brisa said it's not allowed. Yeah, I'm not allowed to tell you have guaranteed amount of milk for lower price just because you give me the money now. That's not allowed. Why? What's the difference? Answers the Gemara. Listen, the Gemara defines the laws of nature beautifully. Awesome. Over there, lav mine karabu. Over there, but the milk, the new milk or the new honey or the new wool doesn't grow from the old one. The shakli leilehai, if you take away this one, the asiachina beduchte, we don't say you take away this, another one will come instead. Let's say what happens when you take away the milk, you milk the milk into the bucket, new milk comes instead. You took away the honey, it's a cycle of nature. They come, they bring from the pollen to the beehive, new honey, v'chule v'chule. There's an old one, the yoshan mipnei chodesh tetziu. That's it, it's a cycle. Over here, mine karabu, here it grows from the same gherkin, from the same vegetable. The chishakli lelehai. When let's say you took away the small gherkin, you're not going to have the new one growing out of nowhere, right? Obviously, right? Another one is not going to grow instead. And therefore what? In the case of the milk, it's usur. Because when I tell you, yeah, that's a nice deal, Mr. Milkman, Mr. Dairy Farmer, that's kind of cool. No, I'm going to pay you now. And right now, as we're talking, the cow has some milk in its udders right now. There is some wool, there is some honey, right? So maybe whatever we have now is ready, done deal, closed deal. And even though you'd normally sell me 100 liters for 200 shekels, now you're sending it for 150. That's really nice that it's okay. It's not okay. Why isn't it okay? Because the milk that's coming, you milk now. Tomorrow's milk is a whole new milk, which wasn't here before. And if that will be given to me, it's as if I gave you in thin air. I gave you before 90% of the milk that was discussed in our deal is not here. It's not here. And the new milk is not growing from the old one. Neither is the honey, nor is the wool. Yeah, the wool was shorn and also sheared, both. Yeah, and therefore the new wool, it's an ayamaisa. That was not this. It was discussed, but it wasn't here. That's called einloy. Einloy is bad news for Ribbis. Masha'enkin, in the case of the gherkin, I still hold, says Rob, I argue with my colleague Rav, and I think in the case of the vegetables, it's okay. Because when we made the deal on big cucumbers, but the small cucumbers are there, very nice. It's the same one, gonna grow bigger, hopefully. Maybe not, later. But Lamaisa, once it grows, Lamafre, we can say that's the one we spoke about. You had it in the store in a smaller format, and therefore it's considered yeshloi, and it's okay, and it's not really. According to Rove, and Allah is the Rove. Yes, question time. Yeah, I'm listening to every word you say. Here's over. Thank you very much. It's Locha, and thank you for everybody in YouTube and Torah Anytime. Bye. Have a good Shabbos.